Hi, my name's Jim Thorne. I'm the founder of the HopewellBigWoods project, and I've got here with me today Rob Good, who is our pilot. We're going to fly over the HopewellBigWoods and show you all the great things there are to do in the HopewellBigWoods.
Okay, we're off, leaving Brandywine Airport near Westchester. There's Marsh Creek State Park to our left. We're heading along PA Route 100 towards the HopewellBigWoods. In 2001 and 2002, an initial group of 17 partners in conservation gathered to create the HopewellBigWoods Partnership to set goals for conserving the Big Woods. Facilitated by Natural Lands Trust, a 60-person Philadelphia regional land trust, this conservation partnership is a vital and dynamic group of over 40 partners striving to meet conservation goals for protecting plants and animals, the forests, and watersheds, and promoting compatible economic development. Though the edges of this 110 square mile recreation and conservation area support homes, farms, highways, and trails, the heart of the Big Woods is just that, miles and miles of unbroken forest. As we fly toward the heart of the Big Woods, let's talk about what makes this place so special, so unique. The Big Woods is a great place to play. French Creek State Park, Hopewell Furnace, Birdsboro Waters, the Schuylkill River Greenway share miles and miles of hiking and biking trails. The Schuylkill River Greenway has the Schuylkill River Trail from Pottstown to Reading, and the Schuylkill River itself is great for canoeing and kayaking. The Big Woods is also a world-class natural area. In 2001, it was identified by the Nature Conservancy and the World Wildlife Fund as one of two globally significant large forest areas in the ecological region between New York City and Washington, D.C. It was recognized because, well, it's a big woods, habitat for mammals and migrating songbirds from as far away as South America. The Big Woods in this part of northern Chester County and southern Berks County is here today because the federal government purchased land that is now Hopewell Furnace National Historic Site and French Creek State Park in 1936. In the 1960s, Mrs. Eleanor Morris led a group of dedicated conservationists in founding French and Pickering Creeks Conservation Trust. We're passing over French Creek right now. You can see it below as the belt of green on the right-hand side. In the distance, we're just starting to see the Big Woods. Looking out toward the Big Woods, we can see South Coventry Township's Woody's Woods, a 200-acre natural area with trails. As we move northward, we'll pass over South Pottstown and North Coventry Township, and finally Pottstown, where we'll turn north along the Schuylkill River. Here we are in Pottstown at Montgomery County Community College. The Schuylkill River Greenway Association offices, a trailhead for the Schuylkill River Trail, and a gateway with the HopewellBigWoods is just across the street. There's Route 100 heading up to Allentown and the Schuylkill River Trail next to the river. There's one remaining unbuilt section of the Schuylkill River Trail in Chester County between South Pottstown and Phoenixville. Once the Chester County section is built, there will be a trail connecting the Art Museum in Fairmount Park in Philly to downtown Reading. As we move up the trail, we're now passing a hidden treasure in Douglasville, Berks County, more Latin Village. Below us, in the top of the screen, is the George Douglas Mansion, built in 1763. The first house, right by the Schuylkill River, the Mounts Jones House, was built by the original Swedish settlers in 1716. The Schuylkill River Trail passes by More Latin Village and crosses the Schuylkill River dramatically on an abandoned railroad trestle on its way to Birdsboro. Moving upriver, we can look west and start to appreciate the massive forests of French Creek State Park and the HopewellBigWoods. Some of the fields next to the Big Woods area have been proposed as an area for 4 racetracks by a local developer. Moving north along the river, we come to Birdsboro Borough, named after Mark Bird, the most famous early ironmaster at Hopewell Furnace. His home, the Bird Mansion, is located in downtown Birdsboro, a bustling little village home to the Birdsboro Municipal Authority, the owners of the 1,800-acre Birdsboro Waters Tract. On your right, you'll see the old armor cast factory that made tracked vehicles for World War II. Here's the entrance to the borough off State Route 422. As we leave Birdsboro, we'll be heading up the Hay Creek Valley. In the lower reaches, we first see the Haynes and Kimball Trap Rock Quarry. Trap rock is also called black granite. Right next to the quarry is the Birdsboro Authority lands of Birdsboro Waters, with its Indian Run Reservoir in the center. The major watersheds of the HopewellBigWoods, the French Creek watershed in Chester County and the Hay Creek watershed in Berks County, have effective advocates in the Green Valleys Association in Chester and the Hay Creek Watershed Association in Berks. Though still rural and pristine, these watersheds face ongoing development pressures, which would eventually degrade the quality of these DEP-designated exceptional value streams. In the distance, we can now see one of two Audubon important bird areas in the HopewellBigWoods. As we approach, we can see that it's a large reservoir called Glenmorgan Lake, located in New Morgan Borough. The lake is flanked by large wetlands that provide food for a variety of wildlife, including our own national symbol, the bald eagle. Back down in the Hay Creek Valley, we're approaching Joanna Furnace, another of the iron furnaces that fueled our 19th century industrialization. Joanna Furnace is the site of two popular festivals each fall put on by the Hay Creek Valley Historical Association. Turning south, we reach the Morgantown exit of the Pennsylvania Turnpike as we start to look east towards Elverson Borough on PA Route 23. Here we are in Elverson, a small borough in western Chester County, which will become a gateway for a bike trail from St. Peter's Village to the east, with a possible future trail connection to New Morgan Borough to the west. The future of Elverson as a recreational crossroads looks bright. As we move out of Elverson, we approach Thomas Hill, the Pennsylvania Game Commission State Game Lands number 43. Rising up over the top of Thomas Hill, we come out on a broad, flat, open area, a former farm, which is today the most important natural area in the Chester County Natural Areas Inventory, an area of French Creek State Park known as Pine Swamp. In this large open area, we can see the 1860s era barn, areas that have been freshly brush mowed by the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Bureau of State Parks, and the more brushy and wooded areas. These areas are being rotationally mowed about every 5 years to keep them open. The many rare plants that occur here are only present because of the many bubbling springs that make the area so wet, and the open landscape, a result of past farming and current Department of Conservation and Natural Resources management. The management is just in time. Conversion to forest would have spelled local doom for the rare plants. The plan for this restoration was funded by the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Wild Resources Conservation Fund and the William Penn Foundation. The plan was written by Natural Lands Trust. As we pull away from Pine Swamp, we can see a lake in the distance. This is Hopewell Lake, created by a dam along French Creek just upstream from Hopewell Furnace National Historic Site. At the bottom of the lake lies the remnants of the settlement of Hopewell Village, an early iron-making community. Today, Hopewell Lake is a destination for swimming in the lake and in a large nearby pool, as well as camping, fishing, picnicking, canoeing, and kayaking. Flying north from Hopewell Lake, we follow the path of a pretty little stream fed by Scotts Run Lake. This lake is primarily a fishing destination, but also has camping and picnicking facilities. Turning east, we are now directly over the heart of the Big Woods, the massive 12,500 acre permanently protected core of the Hopewell Bigwoods. The HopewellBigWoods Partnership is working hard to add another 2,500 acres of protected unbroken forest to meet the long-term goal of reaching 15,000 acres of forest protected for all time. The HopewellBigWoods Partnership is now working to promote and foster old-growth forest within this protected area to create a living example of old-growth forest for the residents of the Philadelphia and Reading region and beyond. Hidden underneath these miles of forest lies an extensive network of trails served by a venerable trail in Pennsylvania's history, the Horseshoe Trail, which stretches from Valley Forge in the east to near Harrisburg along the Appalachian Trail. The HopewellBigWoods Partnership is promoting this trail and many others in partnership with the National Park Service. In the middle of this massive forest, an improbable hole in the landscape opens before us, one of the many Dyer's quarries in southeastern Pennsylvania. This one active in the 1960s, before the requirement of benches in the quarry walls we saw earlier in the Haynes and Kippelhouse quarry. Quarries like this one are both amenity and hazard. Illegal diving into this quarry lake has resulted in too many untimely deaths. As a result, this quarry is closed to the public for now. This massive forest would not be here today were it not for the efforts of the federal government in the Great Depression of the 1930s to acquire land that is now French Creek State Park and Hopewell Furnace National Historic Site. The land was acquired from the descendants of Iron Master Mark Bird, who used these lands for making charcoal for the iron furnace at Hopewell. Though it's hard to imagine today, portions of this forest were cut rotationally every 30 years to fuel the iron furnace at Hopewell. What a different landscape that must have been. And there is Hopewell Furnace National Historic Site below us now. Here we find an authentic 19th century iron village with a forge that still operates. There's the forge. Park Service rangers offer interpretation of the iron production culture as well as interpretation of what life was like in a 19th century iron village. There's the Iron Master's large white house. To the south along French Creek, we now see Natural Lands Trust's Crow's Nest Preserve. Directly in front of us is the newly restored 1790 Jacobs Barn and the accompanying 1814 house now under restoration. The preserve offers great environmental education and is also a world-class natural area. Crow's Nest is one of 11 full-time staff nature preserves in the Natural Lands Trust network of 41 eastern Pennsylvania and South Jersey preserves. As we travel south from Crow's Nest, we encounter St. Peter's Village, the only complete Victorian village on the National Historic Register. St. Peter's, another HopewellBigWoods gateway, is in the process of being redeveloped, with a restaurant, tavern, an impressive Victorian inn, and a bakery now in place. Beyond St. Peter's, Chester County owns a 600-acre park, Warwick County Park, which supports an Iron Heritage interpretive area, including the original site of Coventry Forge. As we leave the HopewellBigWoods, it's important to recognize that the focus on conservation in the HopewellBigWoods would not have happened were it not for the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, the National Park Service, the Birdsboro Municipal Authority, the Natural Lands Trust, the Nature Conservancy, Chester and Berks counties, and all the townships and boroughs in the HopewellBigWoods. Getting a world-class natural area such as the HopewellBigWoods conserved for all time is necessarily a group effort of many partners. Come visit us in the HopewellBigWoods.